This episode isn't about what happened to me, but what it costed me. And from the very beginning of this whole journey that I've gone on to make this podcast, I knew I wanted to hear from others. I knew I wanted to be there with them in their most vulnerable moments. And I think it's only fair if I start myself. I lost my mother twice. And before there was a funeral, there was shunning. One time I mentally lost her, the other physically. And the changes that I've gone through, the cost that it took to get out of the mental hole that I was in, is something that even to this day, and I know now that for the rest of my life, I'll never truly get over it. I'll never truly be happy. And it's just something that I have to learn to live with. In 2018, my parents abandoned me. They left me at a Goodwill, like some sort of donation box. And because of that, among other things, because even before that, I was part of a very highly destructive religion. And so my parents were told that if I ever left the religion, which at the time when they abandoned me I did, they were instructed not to talk to me. And so when I left, after they abandoned me, that's exactly what they did. They cut off communication with me. And I lost everything overnight. My family, my friends, the bed that I slept on, the shower that I showered in, everything I had ever known my entire life was gone in an instant. And so as the years went by, I fell into a very deep depression to the point where I attempted suicide many times. And all I was thinking about throughout those years was my mother and how much I missed her. And then years later, I would lose her again. This time, she would die. Really, the next time my mom and I reconnected after what she had done to me all those years prior was while she was dying in the hospital. And by the time I knew to the time that she died, it was around 3 weeks. And not only did I grieve her while she was alive, but then I started grieving her now that she had died. Now there's obviously a lot. I mean, I could make just entire full episodes of the era of my deep depression, the day that my mom died, the day that she abandoned me, which I plan to anyways. But right now I want to just give a brief overview of what I've been through. And then years later, I moved back in with my dad, which he also abandoned me with my mother. But then he expected me to also join the religion that killed my mother. Because something I did leave out is that my mom potentially could have been here to this day, but the doctrine she followed was more important than her own life. And so she made the decision to not get a blood transfusion that she desperately needed. And so on both occasions, religion loomed over both situations, when she shunned me and later on when she died. I'd like to think that I knew my mom enough to know that she would have happily received a blood transfusion or have the thought about shunning her kids not even cross her mind. But she was clearly in a state of just immense brainwashing that all of those morals and values that she had taken from her because of the indoctrination that she unfortunately fell into for her entire life. And to me, the shunning was just grieving without a body. And then it also showed me how my mom's love was conditional. But the feeling of grieving somebody that was still alive is just something that even now to this day I can't really wrap my mind around, especially because she had every opportunity to not shun me. And then moving in with my father, he was just also so brainwashed to the point where he threatened to take my 12-year-old little brother to another country if I wouldn't convert back. I mean, it was just non-stop hardship and suffering and mental strain. I mean, realistically, my entire life. And he expected me to convert back to the religion that killed my mother. And so I did. I did with my little brother in mind because of the threat that he made. I knew how far they would both be willing to go, but now it was just my dad, and so I knew he wasn't bluffing. And so I did everything he asked me to. I joined the religion. I started going back to the church, attending and participating in the church. And then he left. He got remarried to somebody in another country and left my little brother and I. And so now I am in a position where I'm taking full care of my little brother as a single parent. And this is very recent. But all of these events that have happened in my life, they changed everything in me. The way I conduct myself. I'm always cautious. I'm always sad. I haven't gotten over many of the things that have happened to me. I have moved forward. The accepting phase is really hard for me to come by. It's such a weird feeling because at the end of the day, I feel bad for my dad, but I also never stopped loving my mother. Even after she abandoned me, even after she proved that her love was conditional, even after she abused me physically, mentally, emotionally, my whole life, I never stopped loving her, never once. And so now I live with this weird feeling of resentment towards her, but also unconditional love for her. And I always have her in my thoughts every second of every day. I never stop thinking about her. Now that I'm taking care of her son, I just never ever stop thinking about her. But my whole life, all I've ever known is conditional love, tribulation, suffering, depression, self-hatred, emotional instability. But I have persevered and I'm still here. And all of those things that my parents did to me have taught me lessons that I'll never forget. My entire nervous system. And that's also something that I have to accept and work with. And so now that I'm at my healing phase, I've come to realize just the amount of contradictions that come with that. Because I got to a point where I thought that I would get over this and just pretend it never happened. And that's just not the case at all. And so this has affected me in ways that I never thought was even possible. I am trying to make some light out of all this darkness. I am trying to have my pain mean something to someone out there. And that's exactly why I am building this, filming this, and reaching out to others that want to do the same. To others, maybe it wasn't their mom or parents abandoning them. And this is just my story. Everybody in this world has their own story of how they got to where they're at. For me, it was my parents abandoning me, but for you, it might be not even having a mom, not even having a dad or a family. Maybe it was an addiction you had to overcome. Maybe it was a controlling relationship that took everything out of you to leave. Maybe it was losing a son to suicide. I mean, there's just endless stories of people persevering and moving forward. But I need you to know that what you're feeling is valid. And you're not the only one. You're not crazy. You're not stupid. And you don't have to get over it. Because I've had that said to me many times. But situations like mine and others, you just can't get over it. You never can. You can move forward and have it become something more manageable. But there are just some experiences in life that you just cannot get over. And so for those people, you're not stupid. You're not crazy. And you have every right to grieve in your own way. And I don't want to turn this into a clean redemption story, because this is not what it is. Every single day, I cry. Every single day, I wake up and I have to keep moving forward and keep trying when I don't want to. Every single day, I have to wake up knowing that the person I loved the most in this world is dead. Every single day, I have to take care of my little brother while having no guidance from my parents. But I have persevered and I will move forward. I know now that I can't change what happened, but I can change what I do now. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for everybody. And that's exactly why I built this set and this podcast, for those people. For the people who feel alone. For the people who are always sad, who are always depressed. For the people who are grieving in their own way. For the people who are lonely. And for the people who want the same thing that I do. I know what it's like to be depressed, to be lonely, I know what it's like to be depressed, to be lonely, to feel unloved, to feel unworthy for many years of my life. But I'm still here. And if you're still here, your story's not over. And as always, I see you, I hear you, and I feel you.